So we got a clip number one. This was the debate, from the debate in Tampa that I moderated in Tampa, Florida. It was co-sponsored with the Tea Party Express, as many of you probably remember. It was a very good debate, I must say. I was an excellent moderator. And I had this exchange, though, with Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul. Roll tape. You're a physician, Ron Paul, so you're a doctor. You know something about this subject. Let me ask you this hypothetical question. A healthy 30-year-old young man has a good job, makes a good living, but decides, you know what? I'm not going to spend $200 or $300 a month for health insurance because I'm healthy, I don't need it. But, you know, something terrible happens. All of a sudden, he needs it. Who's going to pay for if he goes into a coma, for example? Who pays for that?
In a society that you accept welfareism and socialism, he expects the government to take care of it.
What do you want?
But what he should do is whatever he wants to do and assume responsibility for himself. My advice to him would have a major medical policy, but not before.
But he doesn't have that. He doesn't have it, and he needs intensive care for 6 months. Who pays?
That's what freedom is all about, taking your own risk. This whole idea that you have to prepare and take care of everybody.
But Congressman, are you saying the society should just let him die?
No. I practiced medicine before we had Medicaid in the early 1960s when I got out of medical school. I practiced at Santa Rosa Hospital in San Antonio, and the churches took care of him. We never turned anybody away from the hospital, and we've given up on this whole concept that we might take care of ourselves, assume responsibility for ourselves, our neighbors, our friends, our churches would do it. This whole idea, that's the reason the cost is so high.
We're a really important voice, and so it's really important for us to be aware of what's going on in this country and for us to be informed voters. More importantly, like, we can go out and vote, but we also need to know why we're voting the way we are, and I think that we're at the age where we need to figure out how we feel, independent of the views that we've been taught, independent of our parents. We need to formulate our own political opinions.
You get this kind of special opportunity that you pretty much only get at college, in which you have these important speakers who are incredibly knowledgeable on these topics that oftentimes, especially at our age, you are less aware of. And our age group is, as she mentioned, an important voter demographic. We don't tend to have high turnout for votes. So an important thing for those of us who are concerned and those of us who are attending university, we have to make sure that we're making an effort, either so that we can inform ourselves or so we can inform our peers.
I think because it affects us all. I mean, there are people who are at our age and at any age who are politically just completely disillusioned and, no, the system doesn't work for me, or et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's not true. And the reason it doesn't work for you is because you're not taking part of it, and you can ignore it all you like, but it affects you fundamentally at a basic level. It does and will always affect you.
So you gotta check it and recheck it and make sure you're percent.
Very nice.
Students should participate because their voice matters. That was so clear in 2008, where the youth turnout was critical to the presidential election results. And their voice matters. They are the future. The decisions that the next president will make, whether it be President Obama again or another president, will affect their lives directly. And the choices facing America are ones that are really putting the country at a crossroads now. So it's essential for students to be active in politics because they are the future.
First of all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It only happens once during your college career. You should grab every single one of the 2012 debate events that we have on campus, both for the ways in which they'll inspire you, for the ways in which they will lay the groundwork for yourself and your self-understanding as a citizen, and just to be part of the excitement of what's happening here on campus.
I love politics. I'm a political news junkie, and I have been my whole life, ever since I was a little boy growing up in Buffalo, New York. So for me, it was never a question whether I would watch what's going on, read the newspapers, watch news on television. I always loved it. And you know, there are plenty of young people out there who love it too, but there are plenty of others who couldn't be bothered and have a lot of other interests and don't want to get involved, which is fine if they don't want to get involved. If they want to be, you know, apathetic as far as the political scene is concerned. That's their right. But I just think that what the elected officials, local, state, federal, the impact that they have on our lives, on our day-to-day lives, is so enormous. I just think we all have a responsibility to watch what's going on, to get involved if we want to, because the stakes are so enormous.